Hello there, beautiful people. Welcome back to another fabulous hour here on Crafters TV. I hope you're having a sensational weekend. We're having loads of fun here this weekend at Craft TV. We had an awesome Play Your Crafts Right earlier today. Make sure you go back and watch that back because it was so much fun. Although I lost, which was maybe less fun. I'm going to redeem myself next week. I've decided I'm back with Craig next week, so fingers crossed. This, of course, this hour, or the next 2 hours, is going to be all about Craft Along, which is fast becoming one of your favourite shows of the week, where you're able to craft along with our experts in real time, which I think is absolutely awesome. Now I'm back, reunited once again with my TV wife. Debbie Fisher is with me. How are you, Debbie?
Yeah, I'm really well. I've been fed and watered and I'm ready to go. So I absolutely love doing the craft along. It's one of those things that I really do enjoy. More so that everyone can do it at my pace or I can do it at your pace, whichever way round. So we're going to be doing this fabulous box because last week I did make a card that was a little bit too big to be able to create an envelope with. So I've decided to create a box to fit, oh I knew I picked the wrong way, Joe, to fit this beautiful card. Now what's stunning about this card is we're going to make it in two parts. So we're going to make the first part of the card, which is the first two tiers. So if you only want to do your card this size, you can make a smaller version, and then we're going to make the back two pieces to fit on there, and then we're going to use that. Look at the inside here, Joe. Now those roses that I've used on the top and bottom are the same decoupage roses as we've got on the front there, because I adore these pads. They're some of my favourite things. Love the edgeables, again my favourite things. Love the papers, the navy blush, my favourite thing. So you literally get in all of my favourite things into this card and into the box.
Awesome. And the great thing is that if you don't have all of these things organised already, don't worry, because you're going to be able to come back and watch this back at any point. I'm also thinking, Debbie, will this work with a lot of our other edgeables that are this kind of size as well, this technique that you're going to teach us?
Oh, absolutely. So being able to create your edgeables along the size of a card is going to be incredible, and we've got exactly what you need to craft along. Now, bearing in mind, you don't need to use the exact same paper pad, you don't need to use the same embellishment there, but what you do need to use is you do need to be able to have access to a Gemini machine or a die cutting machine. You need the A3 pack of Centura Pearl, and you're going to be using, I'm pretty sure it's 5 pieces of that. You're then going to need the 12 by 12 paper pad for the navy and blush, which literally is my favourite pad. Well, actually I've got 2 favourites, but that's one of the 2 favourites. We're allowed 2 favourites, aren't we? And then we're going to use 2 edgeable dies. One is the butterfly lace, one is the traditional lace. I like to mix it up a bit, but if you just want to use the same one, you can. We're going to use the Classic Rose decoupage topper pad with the Classic Rose Elements die, which is the die cuts that cut the topper pad. And then just to finish it off, I am using the Special Friend, the fancy die and font stamp. But you can obviously put any embellishment, any sentiment, sorry, on there. It'd make a great Mother's Day card as well. Then you're going to need your large guillotine, a score master or the master score, either scoreboard, your magnetic stamping platform, your tacky glue, tape pen, scissors and foam pads, and you're going to be able to craft along with me with all those pieces.
Awesome. Loads of people already in, ready to craft along today as well. I can see Deborah is in from Defiance, Ohio. What a great place name that is, Defiance, Ohio. Linda's here as well from Milwaukee. Caroline's in Edinburgh. Joe's in Dakota. Karen's in West Virginia. Karen Fisher is in Hollywood as well. I can see Hollywood. She's not in Hollywood at all. She's in Florida. Why did I say she was in Hollywood?
I thought that was amazing then. I thought from Hollywood.
Karen Fisher's in Hollywood. She's not. Maybe she goes on holiday. Karen Fisher's in Florida. I don't know where that came from. You'll have to excuse me. Tammy says, I'm excited to finally be able to participate in one of these because of the adjusted schedule. So really happy about that. Deborah as well says, oh, Joe, you're always a winner. Thanks, Deborah. Linda's looking forward to the craft along. Lena says, oh, hey, everyone. Love to watch the craft along. Even if I don't have all the products, I pick up so many tips for using in my card making. Let me know if you're watching and you're going to be crafting along live with us. I know a lot of you like to craft along live. Some of you like to watch it through first time and then go back and craft along afterwards. What you will also have to promise me you'll do is, if you are crafting along live with us, is sending your pictures at the end of the craft along. Make a note of where you're going to be sending those into, studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. As we go through as well, If you've got any questions whatsoever, if you need, maybe you think Debbie wants us to speed up a little bit, maybe she needs to slow down a little bit, absolutely, you can let me know all of those things. Or if there's anything specifically you've missed, you can let me know and we'll recap it. Now, if you want to interact with me on Facebook, you can search for Crafters TV there, drop into the live feed. If you want to interact with me on YouTube, then search for Crafters Companion. One of our social media superstars will fire your comments over to me. Is the lovely Katie, who is manning the social feeds today. Right, I want to share with you the products, because if you haven't yet got these products, it's definitely not too late to grab them and craft along, because we've got fabulous deals for you on them. And remember, you can watch all of our shows, including our craft alongs, back at any point over on our website or on YouTube or on Facebook. So over on YouTube, they are organised into playlists as well, so you'll have a craft along playlist there for you. Now, this one here that we're going to look for, so these are the edgeables that we've got in question. Now, they should be £11.99 each. I know. £11.98 gets you all 3 of these, which is awesome. So you're going to get in here the Venetian scroll, the butterfly lace, and also the Edwardian rose. I can't believe we've discounted them to this level. Buy one, you get 2 free essentially, which is absolutely incredible value. So they're available to you right now in the show, which is fantastic. The other thing we have is a floral decoupage. Now, let me show you some of the awesome things that you're going to be making with the floral decoupage. So here are some of the awesome things you can create. Now, it's all about using the pads which are in here to enable you to create these awesome finished effects. Now, you can either decoupage them up and layer them up, or you can just stamp them out. It's completely up to you, but you will get a beautiful full lush project, however you choose to use them. Look at the dimension there on that one, and again here with this one, you can see what you are getting. Now, what you get in this configuration, everything's available individually for you here with these, but what is great about these is when you get them in this configuration, you get everything. So what you actually get is, it starts off with the pad itself. Now, the pad, 48 sheets in each of these pads, and also this artwork is available to download from our website. So if you exhaust these pads, you will be able to come back and get this artwork from us. So what you do in its purest form is you take your die, you pop your die over the pad, and it cuts out all the layers you need to make a gorgeous traditional decoupage. Now, I know what you're thinking, what about when I finished with my pad? Well, fear not, because what you can also do, and these work beautifully standalone as well, is stamp out the image using the stamps which are provided, and then what you do is you lay your die then over the top of there and you cut that out. Very, very simple, really, really gorgeous. You've got 3 different styles all together here. So you've got the floral spray, the classic rose, and the peony bouquet in here, which is awesome. All of that today, $33.60 or $53.60 for platinum members. However, don't forget, spend it, save it, craft it, running all the way up until the end of tomorrow, which means that if you're spending 25, you save 5, if you spend 50, you save 10, if you spend 75, you save 15. So you just need to spend to that threshold once your Club Inspired discount has come off, and then we will give you that extra discount, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Loads of you still chatting away. Oh, Sarah, the boss is in the building. Doesn't our Debbie look gorgeous in that lovely bright top? She really does. And then she goes on to say, and Joe, that shirt, ... Getting a bit of bashing from the boss there.
I think that says it all. Hi, Sarah.
Yeah. Do you mean Simon wouldn't be seen in this shirt, Sarah? Is that what you're saying? I think that's what she means. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. We'll see anyway. Now remember, these are the 2 main collections. There are loads of other bits on the show which I think you'll love. And the best way to see all of those is to pop yourself over to our website, crafterscompanion.co.uk.com.au. Click that shop the show button and then have a look through absolutely everything that is in there. Now, it's all gone, Debbie, very, very quiet in the comments, right? And I think that means everyone must be ready and set, you know, to get on with this craft along. How exciting.
It's a good sign, isn't it, when everyone is quiet, because they're getting poised, they're getting ready, there's die cutting machines at the ready. I hope you're all switched on. We're going to be using our Gemini. We're going to then be grabbing our scoreboard. Now, I've only got the big score to hand, but any scoreboard will be fine, even though we are using the A3 cardstock, because what you can do is, if this is long enough to go on there, but you can always move move it up and down your board to get the score lines in. So the first thing we are going to do, we're going to take our scoring, our Centura pearl, we're going to put it to the end of our scoreboard, and then we're going to score in at 5 7/8 of an inch. So I know that that's my my 6-inch mark. I'm just making sure, 5 7/8 of an inch, and we're going to come in just one increment, and we're going to score down that side. And that's all you need to do. So again, taking your piece of Centura pearl, so this is our size A3, put it against your side piece, and then you're going to score one increment before the 6 and score down. And that is your first score line. We're going to then burnish this and fold it in half. So take your scoring tool and just burnish across there, okay? Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring in our guillotine. So this is all we need to do. Now the reason I have scored at that amount is it's exactly the amount. I'm going to bring in my first die. It's the size that we need for our die to fit across this middle section. So it's that one increment before the 6 inches. Then we're going to bring in our guillotine. So bringing our guillotine up, popping that in, and then I'm going to take my card here, and we're going to take it to 6.5. So where it's 6.5, we're going to just make sure that's all in line, hold this part down, and then we're going to cut that piece off. So that leaves us with a card blank of this size. The next thing that we're going to do, we're going to trim this off. So we're going to do our die cutting first. So popping that to the side. Now, bearing in mind, what we're doing is doing this in 2 stages. So the first stage literally is making our card blank, and then we're going to do quite a bit of die cutting. Then we're going to be layering our papers, and then we're going to be using our decoupage pad to really get creative with that and use it in different ways as well as decoupaging up. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to bring back our scoreboard. So when you bring back your scoreboard, what we're going to do then is we're going to mark. So what I want to do is create a mark system where we're going to be able to lay our dies on. So what you are going to do is we are going to use our scoring tool, and I'm going to go 2 and 2 inches, and I'm going to just put a little notch on that side.
How much was the measurement, sorry?
It's so it'll be 2 2/4.
2 1/4.
2 1/4, yeah. So 2 and then 2 increments, so which works out 2 1/4. Awesome. And then what I'm going to do is take my tool down that side and do the same thing, Joe, on this opposite side, just following it there and putting that little mark. So I've got a little notch each side.
Awesome.
Okay, so shall we just recap on that, just so
yes,
everybody has got that? So I'm literally just going to take this piece first. So your large piece of A3 card, you put on your score. I always get confused with what to say on here, but I always go to butt it, but butt it doesn't seem, but it is, butt it to the left-hand side. Then we're going to score one increment where before the 6, so 5 7/8 of an inch, and you're going to score down there. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to fold that in half. So you fold that in half, and that's all done. Then you're going to put it through your guillotine, and you're going to cut at 6.5 inches. So you're going to trim that down at 6.5 inches. Then we're going to put this card, butt it up against the side, and then we're going to score it at 2 1/4, and then on the opposite side at 2 1/4. And the way I get that is just to take my scoring tool down and then score on that end there. And that gives us 2 notches. Brilliant. So then what we're going to do, Joe, we're going to then, we'll do that afterwards, I think. Let's just do one thing at a time. So that's our first piece of card scored. Now the next thing we want to do is we're going to trim off our excess, because what will happen if we fold this over onto our platform, get my words all muddled up. Our cutting platform, it's too big for that, although we need to do that later on, but I'll show you how to do that. So what we are going to do is we're going to cut off an excess. Now, because we're putting 2 dies on here, bring your scoring board back in. And what we are going to do then is score at 4 and 4 inches. 4 and 2 inches again. So put that little score mark there.
So 4 1/4, Debbie, was it?
So 4 1/4, it's 2 1/4 and 4 1/4, yep. And then what I'm going to do then is take my die to that notch, and I'm just going to make sure that I've got enough here. So I'm going to say, let's do 6 1/2 inches. So I'm going to do that at 6 1/2 inches, because then I'm going to bring my guillotine back in. And what it is, Joe, is we're just getting rid of that excess card that we don't need.
What size is A3 in inches?
A3, what size is it?
Becky Hass is asking.
Right, so it's double our A4, but I will measure it for you so you get the precision of the card size. So I'll put it onto my scoring mat. And this goes, it's 16 1/2 by 11 3/4. 11 3/4 by 16 1/2. Yeah.
Could we then, if we didn't have a piece of cardstock that size, would we be able to join a piece to make
Absolutely,
this?
you can join them. Yeah, absolutely.
And would you join 2 pieces of A4 width sides or lengths?
So
wide sides together or narrow sides together if you were joining some cardstock?
So you would join the normal. So this side, Joe, we're going to put another line in. So I'm going to bring this in. And what we're going to do is, where that's still butted up to there, we want to then score the line down this centre. So exactly what you were saying. So we could have used a different piece of card, but I've used all the same centura. We're going to score this in exactly the same way. So 1 before the 6. So 5 7/8 of an inch. And we're going to score down because we are using this as an add-on piece.
Okay, cool.
So when we fold this, that will then create that add-on piece. But because we needed it to be longer on both pieces, it's bigger than an A4 piece of card. That's why we've done that on an A3. So we've got that down. But if you wanted to do each piece of card, what I could do afterwards, we could measure each section, and all you would then need to do is add on a 1/2 inch or a centimetre at the side to add each section on. So you could do each one individual and then make it a card. Because actually, if I bring in this one, when you actually attach them, so I've attached this piece here, you won't be able to see anything because you're hiding it with pretty papers.
Awesome.
So it's going to look amazing. So you could do each one very separately and just do it with, apart from probably the top one, you possibly could do an A4 piece of card. You would need to use your A3.
I'm going to call it, Debbie. I think you might be Demo of the Week again, you know. I think she could be. I think Debbie could have gone from, you know, 0 to joint lead.
Don't say that, the boss is watching.
Well, what one's the boss's got?
Oh, has Sarah got any today? Has Sarah got any?
Well, I mean, I'm not seeing anything on that shelf that you can't beat, to be honest, Debbie.
You're not being a good boy today, Joe. Okay, so are we okay up that to carry on? Shall we do the first piece of die cutting and then I'll take a little breather? So
yeah, we'll just take a really brief pause, Debbie, if that's all right, just to give people a bit of an opportunity to catch up, if that's all right, before we start those first cuts. Now's your chance as well. If you missed anything there, I know Debbie recapped it all for you brilliantly. If you did miss anything, now's your chance to quickly get that into us. Carlene Sampson, same day, says, will the measurements be available somewhere online after the show, Debbie?
I can put them online, absolutely.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. Okay, excellent. We'll make sure Debbie does that. Remember as well, there's not the only show today. We've got a fantastic Totally Tiffany takeover coming up this evening at 7 p.m. with myself and Tiffany. It is already very, very busy. We're already having to check. There's some new items that are launching. Debbie, what's that die file like?
Oh, don't. You know what? They're selling fast already. If you want it, you've got to be quick. And it's that I need to get one myself because they are so amazing. It's literally a file, but a really sturdy file that has pull-out wooden slats with magnetic strips on it. Honestly, it will blow.
Shall I go semi-rogue and
give
you a flash?
So. Shall we let you go rogue?
Shall I give you a flash? Not that kind of flash. Give you a glimpse of what it looks like. I can't find it.
So what it is, it's just so amazing. If you've ever wanted your dye storage to be, or your dyes to be super organised, this is definitely the thing for you.
And the great thing about it, Debbie, is you can have it horizontally like I'm going to show you here, or what you can do is have it vertically as well. It's very exciting, guys. I've a feeling this is going to sell out before we get to the later show. Do you know how much of it's gone, Johnny?
Look at that.
So this is what you have. Then you pull this out and look, you've got these magnetic strips in here that then house your dyes and they stick onto there. The thing is as well, guys, it means that you can put them on both sides, because then what happens is this then slots back into here. So think about layering them all up by their different collections. All of the tabs here could have different collections, but also think about having them on top of each other. They are so strong and sturdy. So it means that rather than having storage on your counter, which is taking up your counter space, it's not, because you can store things on here. You can put your Gemini on here. You can put your 12 by 12 rotating design board on there with your Gemini Pro on it maybe as well. So use it as a stand. Do you know what it would be great for? If in your craft room you've got like a computer monitor, you could actually use that as like a monitor stand to have your monitor on, so it's a nice height, and then you've got all of your dye storage in there as well, and you can get really Mahusive dyes on here as well, which is awesome. It is absolutely brilliant. A quarter of it's gone in the US already.
It actually gives me goosebumps, Joe. I'm not even kidding.
Do you know the other thing as well, Debbie?
Because it's amazing.
You store it that way as well. So store it on its side if you want to, and then you can still pull it up and all your dyes are still connected.
I love the idea of putting the Gemini, putting a totally Tiffany rotating board onto it, putting your Gemini and all your dyes are underneath. Oh, it literally gives me goosebumps. I love it so much, Joe.
It really is incredible. I'm going to leave it behind me over here so I can keep giving you a little glimpse as we go through. I do worry though that it will have gone in the US by the time we get to that takeover show. It's that busy already. Right, I think then that was a nice little time, wasn't it, Debbie, for people to get themselves caught up. So if you're ready to press on, then so are we, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got our first card blank. We've got our notches from 2 1/4 inches. We're then just going to line our die up. So where that notch is on this side, where this notch is on this side, we're going to lay our die into place, and then we're going to take our low tack tape and tape that down. So just grabbing a piece of tape, putting that across there, and then we're going to pop that there, and then we're going to run that through our Gemini. So obviously if you've got, you could use your Gemini Junior plates and position them, or you could position them onto a Gemini Junior, but we are using the bigger Gemini to run that through. So literally put that onto our Gemini plates, running that through. That's going to give us our first die cut, which is the front of our card. So nice and easy. And what you could do, because that is going across the front, we could then reverse it. So I'm going to pause and reverse it just to make sure that we're getting that additional cut going through. You could, if you wanted to, also add a bit of embossing, and we could do our embossing mat, but we're just going to be doing the die cutting. So taking that out, just switching my boards round, and then we can take this part out. And because I've run that through twice, not that I probably needed to, but I'm just going to give that a little tap to release those. So what you do want to do is make sure that you get all your pieces out. So I'm pretty sure mine have all come out. Got a few pieces there. So just while you're all doing your die cutting, I'm going to just poke all my pieces out, because you need to use this die twice. So if ever you've had problems with cutting a die, you've got pieces that have been missed, always check your dies, because it could be that you've just got some few little paper pieces that you've missed. And you can see how beautiful are these dies, Joe? They're so amazing.
A couple of people have already got those die files as well, Debbie, and are talking about them. Cheryl says they've got 2 of the die files and I love them. They're perfect for organisation. Get them before they're gone. Peg says as well, I've got 2 of the TT boxes. I use them for my Word dies, then use the purple notebooks and magnetic sheets for the rest of the dies. Really works well together. I just think that it's not storage, it's like furniture really, isn't it?
It is furniture and it looks beautiful. It's like you could decorate it, you could stencil it, you could add your textured paints to it. I mean, it is, honestly, it's beautiful. I'm really hoping, Joe, that there's some left when I finish this show, because I think I'm going to have to go and get
Could you just not buy all of them, just leave one?
Yeah, just leave one for me.
Would you like just one? Just one for our Debbie, please.
So what I have done is we're snipping along the top here, and then what we're going to do, I'm just going to burnish this line in, because what I want to do, I'm going to snip that little bit to the edge, and then I want to cut that away. So I'm going to make sure that my burnish line is really in there so I can see it when cutting. And all we're going to do is cut that whole section out. So cutting down in our section just there, and that will bring out that piece of card, and that's created that front of your card for you. So you've still got that piece on the side and your front. Okay, so then what we're going to do, we're going to switch our dies over. Now you could use the same die, there's no reason why you can't use the same die, but I think especially if you could be crafting along, and then you could be maybe wanting to make this card again when you get other dies. But if you're going for that, I mean, Joe, I didn't even know about that offer. Buy one, get 2, 3 of the dies. You're going to be able to use 2 of those dies on this card, and it's just going to look fabulous. So I am switching it out now for the butterfly lace. And this time we're going to do the same thing. We're going to lay it onto the top. Now I am going to put my notches back in so I can see where they are. If it helps, you could always add it with a pencil mark just so you can see it. But what I am going to do is add this back in, and then at 4 1/4, we're going to just pop that notch back in. And someone has got a line on that 4 1/4, so I'm just going to go from there, go in on that piece that's there. It doesn't, you could actually go in all the way because you're going to hide that, and then put a little notch just on that centre piece. So when you then come to your die cutting, you know that when you're putting your die into place, you've got it completely straight. Now, there has been cards on the market out there that you can put at a diagonal, but because we have straight edges on these edgeables, so you can see they lay straight at the side, I thought it was nice them stacking up on each other. So this is our second die cut. We're going to bring our board in again, open this up, and then we can die cut. So I'm just going to let that go all the way through this time.
There's no flies on Aisha. She got her order placed yesterday, Debbie, for all of her Totally Tiffany goodies. She's got the big rotating design board, and she's also got the die file storage as well.
Oh, that's amazing. I just wanted to do something first, Joe. I just wanted to make sure, because I didn't really cover the steps of opening up your card to making sure that this bit is on the inside. You don't want to do it any other side, so I'm just make sure that when you close this piece, you have got your die on the same part. So putting that in, and then we'll run that through. Yeah, I have to admit, since we have been alongside with Tiffany, I've just absolutely loved all the products that are coming out. I'm a very organised person, Joe, so actually Totally Tiffany products, I feel like she made them for me because they are so incredibly good.
I'm just hearing that some of the buddy bags have already sold out.
You're not going to have much of a show, Joe, are you?
Just going to have me and Tiffany have a little chat for 2 hours. Some of the buddy bags have already sold out. The smaller A4 rotating design board has also sold out as well. So it's going to be a very, very busy Totally Tiffany show later.
Do you have the Stephanie buddy bag on, Johnny? Because that's my favourite.
Stephanie is in stock, but very, very low in stock.
Oh,
less than 100 of those.
Yeah, Stephanie's my favourite. I buy one ever so often. I keep all my ink pads in them, Joe.
Ah, yeah, they're great for that. Because there's body bag for everything, isn't there? Which is awesome.
There certainly is. So I'm just making sure, again, I'm taking out all the pieces in my die. So, okay, so let's cut these off. There we go. Just snip into that. So we're going to cut that one away. And on the other side, and then we're going to make sure that all the pieces on there are took out. So just a couple, just I can see.
I love the butterfly design of that. It's so beautiful.
Isn't it lovely, Joe? It's so, so pretty. They're just really nice, these ones, because we've done lots of edgeables. These are our lace collection, and I love the lace collection because it's exactly what it says it is. Because if you can see all this, I've just seen another one in there, but you can see that all the detail around normally would sort of leave these, that would be a pattern on the ladybird. Where's the ladybird come from? It would be a pattern on the butterfly, but you've got all this intricate lace detail filling the whole space. It really is. They're so pretty. So, so pretty. And that is in fact the first,
UK, hun.
I just infect. I don't know why I don't even know what I wasn't
Insect,
even,
infect,
no.
in fact.
In fact, but I come out infect. So yes, I don't want to infect anyone. So in fact, and now I can't even remember what I was going to say, but never mind. So that's your first piece actually done. So if I bring in this first one, you can see that the front of this card, and we're going to decorate it as well, but we're then going to do the bigger version to have on the back. So it's in totally up to you whether you do your first bit or the back. But that is our first card already made.
Awesome. We'll take a slight pause then.
Yeah, absolutely.
There. Debbie, just anyone got any questions at all? Now's the time to get them in before Debbie moves on to the next step. Monica says, I have some edgeable dies. I don't really use them all that much. After seeing this project, I absolutely will. Oh, you must get them out. Right, any questions that you've got, get them into me. We're just going to take a slight pause. So whilst we do that, here's all the details of how you can watch and shop at the same time.
Hi, I'm Joe from Crafters TV, and I'm here to show you how you can grab the best deals and shop whilst you watch during our shows. So the best way to watch us is always on Crafters TV. Head on over to our homepage and go to Crafters TV. You can see all of our shows, offers, and even shop while you watch. Now if you want to get involved and comment along, head over to our Facebook page. Come say hello, ask us some questions, and lol with us. Or you can watch us on YouTube. Simply head to our Crafters Companion YouTube channel. Got a smart TV? You can even AirPlay directly onto your big screen. We're constantly adding new and exciting shows to our schedule, so don't forget to check in. It's never been easier to have us in your living room. It's always fun here at Crafters TV, so come join us as we create every day.
Honestly, that's the closest I get to going out listening to that video at the moment. That's the closest I get to a dance floor listening to the jingles there. I love that. All the details there of how you can watch and shop at the same time. Really simple to do so. Evelyn's saying how much she loves the butterfly edgeable. Hadass is saying she is a sucker for butterflies. And Adams Rose says, Joe, I still think your shirt should be made into a paper pad. Just saying. Maybe I could get Leanne on it. What do you think? Would you craft with this, Debbie?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love it. I love all those Aztec patterns. Very nice.
Well, Adams Rose, we'll see what we can do. Right, I think no one's letting me know that they are falling behind or need anything recapping, Debbie. So I'm guessing that means we can crack on with the next element.
Yeah, absolutely. And really what we're going to do is rinse and repeat, Joe. So we're going to do exactly the same thing, apart from we're going to make it a little bit bigger this time. And then we're going to have that second part of the card. And then we're going to get ready to decorate and do all the magical bits that makes the card look so utterly gorgeous. So again, taking your scoreboard, butt your card up into the left-hand side of your board. We're then going to score at 5 and 7, words have gone, 5 and 7/8 of an inch, there we go, which is just one increment before your number 6, and we're going to score down. And then what we're going to do, we're also going to go across to, oh no we're not, we're going to fold in half. I was running ahead with myself. And then we're going to fold this up to the point. And that creates your first piece of card. Then what we're going to do, we're going to cut this excess off. So we're going to bring in our guillotine. And then we're going to run that under there and cut off at 6.5 inches. So we're taking our cardstock here to 6.5 inches, making sure that's level across the top. And I always like to look at the bottom to make sure it's level there. So I've got everything straight. And then we're going to take that side off, which again leaves you with that piece of card. So we've had all good messages. They're not ones that people aren't able to follow, so
No,
which is
everyone
good.
seems to be following along, which is great.
Brilliant, yes, which is really good. So again, we're going to take this to the edge of our scoring board, and then at 2 1/4, so 2 2/8 of an inch, we're going to score. And then I'm going to take that away, find that 2 2/8 of an inch, bring that down so I can score the same along the other side. And that gives me my score lines that I can then lay my, oh, there we go, my lace edgeable up against there. And then what we're going to do is put in a score line for 4 2/8 of an inch again. And then I've got my score line at the bottom. Someone's drawn a line to put that in. Sorry, I've completely done this wrong. I'm doing exactly the same thing. We want to go up, and actually that's a good thing we've done that, Joe, because what it's done, it's shown us where our other dies are going. So we had a die here and we had a die here, which then means this one is our back panel. So we need to go up to 6 2/8 of an inch. So we're going to put our mark into 6 2/8 of an inch. Again, moving your card away and bringing this down, so we can score on the opposite side. So going across and just putting a little notch there. Then this one will then be cut here.
Awesome.
And then what we need to do is just find then our 8 2/8 of an inch, so 8 1/4, and we're going to do exactly the same. So what we've actually done is we've done 4 sections on 2 pieces of card. So the first section is 2 1/4 and 4 1/4, and then this one is 6 1/4 and 8 1/4, and that's where each of your individual dies will go.
Awesome.
So I'm just going to take that away, go to my 2 1/4 inch mark, line that up and just put in my notch there. So we're going to be cutting this time on this side and on this one here. And then what I want to do, I'm just going to slightly trim that down, so we'll just take the edge off, but that doesn't really matter. So put that to the side, bring in your guillotine and take that edge off. Now you could do this 2 separate ways. I'm going to show you how you can do it in just using the same piece of card. But what I mean by separate is that you could use, like we said before, use this front piece and put a tab on it so it can attach to the back piece, and then you can do your back piece separate. But I'm going to do it all together, and you might be wondering how we're going to do that. So what I'm going to do is bring in my lace edgeable, so I know it's going to go to that part there, and stick that into place.
Katie has just given me a little housekeeping update. She says, just an update, everyone is following along, not having any trouble at the moment, which is why there are not many questions. Also, everyone is very much talking about the die storage since you showed it earlier. Johnny says that it's actually, the website is on fire for that die storage since we mentioned it.
Not surprised.
And Marshall just says she's got 5 of them. A 6th one is on the way and she is tempted to order a 7th. So they must be good.
That
Debbie,
must
you
look
look
so good.
well gel, as the kids would say.
So jealous. I'm not even joking. It gives me goosebumps. That I want it so badly. It's so amazing.
I've just had an idea. You could almost have one that way, Debbie, and then on top of that one facing that's flat facing out, you could have 2 facing up. So you could get 3 all on the footprint of 1.
So nice.
So many options.
It's just so good. And we've all got so many dies, and just to be able to write on there or put little tickets on there and know exactly what you're going to and where your dies are. Honestly, Joe, I think we need one in the studio, and I'm quite happy to take one home and organise it and put all the dies that we need for the studio.
But the thing is, maybe just hang around to the shop, because if it sells out, then what else are we going to do with it? You'll have to take it home.
Yeah, that's very true. Oh, Joe said it. Joe said it. Before, Joe, if you gave it to me,
no, sorry,
I could take,
not getting in trouble like I did with the stick away.
You give me a stick away.
Yeah, I just think it maybe is a bit different. I think this is a bit of a reach, trying to give you a whole different storage system.
It's quite all right. I'm going to get my own. Well, as long as there's any left, but I know you're all rushing to them. So we've got our die cut on there. Now, because this piece of card is too big for my Gemini, this is where I was saying, if you find it easier, trim your card down and then just do another piece for your back. But actually, what you could do is wrap this around your metal shim. So if you put that onto your metal shim and run that through, you're going to be able to get a better die cut, and also that piece is on the back. What it will do, it will put this mark indented into your back piece of card, but honestly we're going to decorate that so you're not even going to see it.
Will so you're cutting, is it the 6 1/4 inch line you're cutting on here, Debbie?
So we've got 2 and 4, so this is on the, thank you, Joe. It's a good job you said that, isn't it? So we're cutting on our 6 1/4 inch line. Yes, thank you, Joe. If you hadn't pointed that out, I would have had to start again, which is not a bad thing because then we could have recapped. But yes, so Joe's exactly right. Let me bring in this first card. This first card is the piece that's going to attach to this piece of card. So you'll have this on the front there. But what you've got then is another line. So we're going to cut the next two onto this one. So we're just going to run that through. There we go.
Deborah says, this demo is amazing, Debbie. Thank you so much. Rhonda Crowley says, I have two of the Totally Tiffany die cut storage units and I absolutely love them. I've never found anything better.
So I didn't like it that way, Joe. I'm going to put it in the other way, and I can see that, that's what I love about the Gemini, it just spits it out, but my platform is not straight.
Oh, okay. Would that be why?
Yeah, we're going to pop that through again. It is the best thing about the Gemini. If it doesn't like something, it will just send it back out. So, and we'll hear it. It's working harder to get that die to go through. Oh, it's still not liking it.
Just doesn't like it, does it?
It's because I've put a double layer in there, Joe, so
Right.
that's what it is. So I am going to show you, and actually it's quite a good way because I'm going to show you another little trick. If something's too thick to go through your Gemini, what I'm going to do is take out my magnetic shim. I bet that's cut quite a bit in there actually, Joe. Let me have a look first. Oh, it hasn't cut the center point, which is what I need it to cut into. So what I'm going to do is take out my magnetic shim and we're going to run that through. Now what that's going to do, it's going to allow now my die to cut inside the card, so it will cut that for me, but it probably won't cut it as fully as I need it to cut. But what will happen is that it will stretch the fibres of the card enough for me to then put that back in and then recut
that's
it
a good
out.
tip, Debbie.
Yeah. So you can see, I'm going to show you as well. If I pull that over, can you see it's still not quite cut there? But what it will do now is it will, it should I say, it should allow me to put these back through now because it's given me that extra cut into the card, which means it will stretch the fibres of the card. So this should go through now, let's hope. Oh, it's working really hard then, so it should have gone through. Why do things work at home and then they don't work when you're on the show, Joe? So it may be a case that we're going to have to trim this bit down and then create another piece.
It's good though, because if this is something that might happen at home, it's good that we have had it happen in the show, really, isn't it, Debbie?
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know why it's not working. I'm going to try it a different way round. But if you're let us know if you're having the same problems at home, because it worked fine on my machine at home.
Let me know, yes, because obviously, Joe, I forgot for a moment that everyone's doing it together, aren't they, at the same time with us? Let us know in the comments.
If you are having problems, then all we're going to do is we're going to cut the pieces of a card down and do them separately. So it's not a problem whatsoever. No, last time, I'm not going to try that anymore, Joe. So we'll let that come out. I mean, obviously, you know, I wouldn't have done anything if I didn't have the finished card and was able to do it quite simply, actually. But I've got a feeling it
Do you
could
think
be
that your plates, I was just thinking, do you think your plates
because
might
I
have
haven't
something to do
got
with it?
straight plates, so I'm pretty sure that's probably why.
No one's letting me know they're having an issue in the comments, so I'm guessing everyone's managed to get it to go through their Gemini.
So I think I've got quite bendy plates and I've got no new plates with me. I have got, no, that one's quite bendy as well.
Would you like some new plates?
I would love some new
Would
plates.
you?
That
Let me
would
see
be
if I can get you some new plates. 1 second.
Right, so what I am going to do, so hopefully you've all done it at home, so I'm just going to quickly do it the other way. So just in case there's anybody that is having difficulty, let me get my guillotine. And what I'm going to do is put this through and I'm just going to leave that inch on the end. So I can tell I can actually put that up to here. I'm going to do a 1/2 inch. And using my score line that I've already got there, I'm just going to cut that piece off. And then we can send that through, no problem whatsoever. So let's take this one. I'm going to still put in my metal shim, place that down onto there, but this time I haven't got my extra piece of card. So we will just run that through singly. And then I just need to create another piece of card. So I've got another piece that I'd already done. So running that through. And there we go. So that's cut out now. Lovely. Thank you, Joe. He was doing that all nicely, and I then said thank you. Okay, so let's pop that to the side. We need that one. So with my next piece, which I've done exactly the same way, I'm just then going to cut off this. We don't need the back panel, do we, anymore? So I just need, sorry about this, the longer piece, because it's our back one. So I'm just going to take that piece off. And I think what I'll do, when I get home, I will work out how you can do it with 3 single pieces and 1 large piece.
Well, yes, Alicia Gordon actually says, can the card be made if you have 8.5 by 11 cardstock, which I'm guessing is US letter size, is it?
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. So it can, and you'll put those measurements up, did you say, Debbie?
I'll have a look. Yes, I have to work it out, the different measurements for, because you can make them different sizes. What I've done is I've allowed for the die, oh, this still looks like it could need an extra cut there, Joe. So what I am going to do, I'm going to switch to
Have you got your new plates?
You've got me new plates.
Yeah.
Where did you put them, Joe? You passed them to me.
They're there, aren't they? You've got, they're the ones, they're the new ones.
They're
not brand new, but they are much newer.
Oh, but they're new. Because they were used. I knew it was too good to be true. I thought we were going to get brand new plates to use there. So let me move those ones. They're not as banana shaped as if we got those there. I'm just going to run this through one more time just to make sure we get this cut. And I was looking for a, I need to take these two. So we need our magnetic and our plastic shim. So the joys of a craft along. I love this, Joe, though, because it is real time, and it's nice that we don't have anything prepared, because any obstacles that we come across, you're gonna, some of you might come across those same obstacles. So it's really good to be able to show those. So we'll pause, bring that one through. Now this one, all I need to do with this size is bring in my scoreboard. And I'm just going to work out, so our last scoring, so we did our 2 1/4, we did 4 1/4, 6 1/4, so our last one is 8 1/4. So up to the 8, and I'm going to put a notch on that side, and then we're going to put our notch on the opposite side. So I know this longer piece now needs that last butterfly one to cut through there. And there we go. So we've got that piece there. I'm going to line this one up, and because we're cutting it, it does take that little bit of extra cutting because we're asking it to put a whole lot of workload through this this die. So popping that across there, and we're cutting it out of Centura Pearl. So putting that there and then running that through. So I'm going to run that through. Once I hear that sort of click through, I'm just then going to press my pause, and then we're going to reverse that. And just bringing that out. It's quite nice to reverse when you do it like that, because it doesn't take long at all. So that's cut beautifully. Let's pop them out the way. And then we've got our 2 pieces. So obviously you might at home have 2 separate ones, but we've, one piece that's together, but I've now done mine in 2 pieces. And we're just going to trim them like we would any of the others. So putting that to the side.
Awesome.
And then flicking these through. So all I'm going to do now, Joe, is I'm going to just...
Do you know what that reminds me of, what you've created there? It almost looks like a menu.
Oh, yes.
That back bit, if you were doing like a festive, like I imagine like a Valentine's menu or something, and you wanted to print it, imagine if you, had someone in your life romantically, like an airline pilot or something, and you wanted to then like print out, a special aviation themed menu maybe.
It would be amazing. Yeah, you're so right. And actually, that's just made me then think of the table numbers you get at parties.
Because butterflies take flight is what I'm thinking.
Well, I thought that's what you meant, Joe. I was thinking that's what you meant. You're schmetterling, flying around. So I'm just going to be poking all these pieces out because I don't have a die brush to hand either, Joe. Do you know what it is today? And last night, I didn't have my own craft bag.
Did you have a late night?
No, I didn't have a late night, but I always bring my own craft bag So I feel organised where I've got everything. I wished I'd had a late night. Would be nice to go out on the town, wouldn't it?
We were in bed, weren't we, by, not together, I lad, by about 10:30 last night?
No, not together.
Very early.
Yes, we was. Well, I went to bed a bit later, Joe. I wasn't
You did?
feeling too tired.
I went up before you.
Went up, so I think it was about
I was out like a light last night,
half
Debbie.
11. You were out like a light.
Yep. Didn't hear Debbie snoring at all last night. That's what they're all asking. That's what everyone's thinking in the gallery,
No,
Debbie.
it's not what everyone was thinking. Oh, I thought you meant on Facebook. No one was thinking that on Facebook.
No one's thinking that on
You have to
Facebook.
breathe out. I wonder if Debbie was snoring last night and sounding like a fox. Oh dear.
I won't do. I'll spare you the embarrassment. I won't do the sound effects, Debbie.
So you will probably have no, please don't do the sound effects. He's dying to do the sound effects. So was I snoring like a fox last
No,
night?
I didn't hear a peep. No, I genuinely didn't hear a peep. I was out like a light last night, honestly. I did that thing, you know, where you fall asleep immediately at about 11 o'clock, but then you wake up at about 10 to 12 and you're just not sure what day it is, let alone where you are, and you realise you've only been to sleep about 45 minutes. And that was fine. And then I went back to sleep and then, yeah, slept straight through. I think I slept from like 11 p.m. to 8 a.m, Debbie. Straight through.
Yeah,
9
I
hours.
must admit I slept right through from about 11, I think half 11, and I thought to myself, God, I must have got about nearly 9 hours sleep.
I didn't sleep very well in the week though, Debbie, but you know why? It was a
No.
full moon apparently. Someone said that's maybe why it was. There was a full moon in the week. Lynn Harvey says the menu idea is a good one, Joe. Thank you, Lynn. Definitely.
So I don't know if this is a good time to recap, Joe, because all I'm doing is
think so.
because I haven't got a finished one, so this really is what we're doing in real time. So I'm picking out all my bits because it's Centura Repel, it holds in there a bit more. But just why I'm picking these all out, I didn't want anyone to get, well, I know actually most people are crafting along, but just in case they're not.
Absolutely. Okay, well, whilst you're picking your bits, let me take you back through those awesome edgeable dies that we have got. So what you'll see is, the great thing is it's a buy one, get two free, which is fantastic. So you've got in here the Venetian scrolls, which is this one just here. You're also going to receive in here the butterfly lace. That is the one that you've just seen Debbie use. And of course, you're getting in there as well the Edwardian rose. Unbelievable price. If you don't own these already, you have to buy them at that price because it is a sensational deal. Remember as well, pop something else in your basket, get yourself up to £25 or dollars, and then what you'll get is some extra money off, because we've got that spend it, save it, craft it running all weekend, right up until the end of tomorrow. And what that means is, if you spend 25, you save 5, spend 50, you save 10, spend 75, you save 15, which is great. So you just have to spend those amounts after your discount has come off, and then we will add that extra discount on there for you. You don't need to do anything, it all just happens at checkout for you. So once you've got the correct amount in, you'll see all those discounts take shape, which is awesome. It also means as well that you could get an extra £15 or $15 off of that amazing Tiffany dye storage that we've got on the show later. So you'll get it. Gosh, that means you'll probably get it at its best ever price, Johnny, you know. Debbie's not happy. She's like, all right, I'll pipe down.
What's the time?
How's it going, Johnny? I mean, Johnny was very concerned a minute ago. It's going very, very quickly, apparently. There's loads of awesome stuff coming up in that show. Well over a quarter of the stock now of that dye storage has gone, that dye file. So do be quick for that if you want it. Right, how are you getting on then, Debbie? How's everyone else getting on at home? Please let me know
definitely.
how you're getting on. If you need us to slow down or speed up, or there's anything you missed or you'd like recapping, as always, I'm here waiting for you to let me know. So you can reach me on Crafters TV on Facebook, Crafters Companion on YouTube, and I will let Debbie know. Cindy saying, wow, what a great price for those edgeables. It really is a really, really good deal.
Yeah, which is a brilliant price. So, and all you need is a paper pad and your decoupage papers to go with that, because they really do look awesome. So I've got mine in 3 different parts. You could have yours in 2 parts, and the only difference is I've got that extra edge at the side, which I will slot in, and that will connect. I've then got this piece here, which is going to connect to the front, but it's actually easier to decorate it without having to put it together first. So let's start with our front piece. So all you're going to do is I'm going to take my papers. So I'm using the navy blush paper pad, which is just beautiful. And there's such good coordinating colours in this pad. They've got a beautiful shimmer on them. They're a really nice weight, so they go on your card beautifully.
Fair to say any of the pages that you go to will work together in there, isn't it?
Oh,
like, it
so
doesn't matter which pages you pick,
absolutely.
it'll all work.
And they all work with the backs of the papers as well, Joe. We've actually got really nice pinks and greys on the backs, which look absolutely gorgeous. And there's a lighter pink on that. I mean, look at those colours. They are just stunning. It is fast becoming my favourite. Well, it is. I have two pads. So one of them is the traditional watercolours. And it's the traditional watercolours and the something florals. Contemporary watercolour and traditional florals. They are my all-time favourite pads. I love them. And then this is my next one that I use. I just use them all the time. Now, all I do to line these up is line them against, because I want a little rim against it all. So I'm going to turn this upside down and I'm just going to mark. So I've left a little tiny white edge down the side, and then we've left that whiter edge on the top because we've obviously got that there. I'm just going to hold that across, and I'm going to use just a pencil. Yeah, I did have a pencil at hand. And then I'm going to make a notch just in from that, so it's leaving another white piece. And on the bottom, I'm going to use my pencil just to draw that line there. Now, what's great about this, once I've drawn that line down, I know that that is going to fit each piece that I put it onto. So, and I will tell you the measurements of that when I cut it. Now, I could have measured it, but I wanted to show you how I do it, because that's just the easiest way I find to do it. So if I place that line on there, that actually works out, it's, I can't actually see, so it's 5 3/4. So we've got 5 3/4. Again, I'm making sure it's aligned at the bottom as well as on the top and cutting that off. And then the other bit that we need, which we've measured out.
You know, I've got the first of our new weekly slot of the softer side tomorrow, Debbie.
Yes.
I've just had a text message from Bernie, right?
Ooh.
Her sister's made her a cake to celebrate the first show. She's bringing it in. It's basically, the cake has got a Bargello quilt on it and loads of like patches all over it, but it looks absolutely massive, and she's going to bring it into the show tomorrow.
Was you allowed to say, Joe?
Sorry?
Did she tell you that privately? Or are you allowed to say? Because
well,
last week when
look,
I see
she hasn't told me not to say anything, so she should
come in
know.
And said, "Do you want to know a secret?"
She should know by now that I'm going to, you know, lose lips, sink ships. But if you want to see the cake, join us tomorrow for the first of our brand new softer side shows in its brand new home on the Crafty TV schedule. It's at midday tomorrow here in the UK, and that's what, 7 AM East Coast time. You got to tune in just to see the cake. I mean, I could slice a bit off and, you know, in very in-depth detail, tell you what it tastes like maybe as well. I'm not eating any carbs at the moment, so I won't, but I'll get Bernie to do it as well. Be like Taste the Vision, Debbie.
She showed me it last week, Joe. She said, "Do you want to know a secret, Debbie?" I said, "Oh, I love a secret because I'm really good at keeping secrets." And and she showed me the picture, Joe. It is absolutely amazing.
It's incredible.
It doesn't. It actually.
I know we're teasing you, but you can see it tomorrow.
It actually looks better than the real thing. The
Yeah.
colours in it is. Yeah, you'll see it tomorrow. It's amazing. So we've done our first panel, which we've put onto the side there. But I want to alternate the colours that we're putting in. So I'm going to bring in our third step. So I've got the third step, and we're going to put this same one. Now I know that that's going to fit across the actual side. So all I need to know, and make sure I do it the right way. I'm going to do it this way because that's it, do it this way. Because what I want, and I'll show you what I meant, I didn't want, it's got quite a blank piece at the top there where I wanted it more fuller, but I wanted it to go this way. So all I'm going to do is just make sure I've measured it the right way. We're going to put that up to the side, go down to the bottom again, use our pencil, and we're going to mark that. And then we can show you what measurement that is on the guillotine.
Debbie, who stole the first hour of this show?
Wow.
It flies by, doesn't it?
It does whiz by, Joe.
I love these. These have become, I think, my absolute favourite show, you know.
I love them. I absolutely
brilliant.
love them. So this one we are cutting at 6 inches. So doing the 6 inches, and that gives us then our piece for here. So we're going to pop that onto the front. Now you can use your tacky glue. I am just using my tape pen for speed. Boy, isn't that a nice sound?
Is it the dotty one or the main one?
Just the main one.
See, I love the way the dotty one feels when you use it.
Yeah, the dotty one's great, but it's more stickier, the straight one. So I was concentrating then to get that straight on there. Just seeing another little piece that needs to come out. So we've got our 2 pieces then of that one, and we're going to do exactly the same, but we're going to be using this beautiful... I
love this one, Debbie.
Well, it's gorgeous, isn't it? It's
yeah, so since
lovely.
seeing this, I've been thinking about doing some colour blocking on the wall in my apartment. And
Oh,
actually
yes.
using something like that colour there and just having it all random like triangles of colour all on like one portion of the wall, I think it would look amazing.
It would look amazing. Yeah, so amazing. Lots of people do that, don't they, with masking tape?
Yeah, have you been watching we have a show in the UK called The Great Interior Design Challenge, it's called.
No.
It's on the BBC, it's presented by Alan Carr. Yeah, and it's basically like The Apprentice or, any of those kind of style shows, but for interior designers. And each week they have a new challenge and they have to go and, design the interior of these houses. It's a really awesome show, actually. It gives you lots of great ideas.
Yeah, it sounds incredible. Oh, I've not even seen that, Joe. I don't honestly watch a lot of telly, to be honest. So, and then we've got our final piece, which I don't think that bit is going to be big enough, so we'll bring this back in. But what I am going to do is cut it the same size as this one here. So I'm just going to pop that on, put a little notch on there so I know how far to take that off. There we go. Just down there, which is... And then we're going to put this up to here, just work out which piece that I want. So yeah, we'll go that top one. So all I'm doing is working out what pattern I like the most look at. And then we will put a notch across there and cut that out. So this is the easiest way I find to be able to do my mats and layers. Cut that piece off. So we've got our longer piece. That's not our longer piece, is it? There we go, that one fits better. And then our midsection, which we will attach that to. And then all our layering is done inside the card, and then we can start using our sentiment die plus our decoupage pad.
Brilliant. I love it. I think it's absolutely awesome.
It's
Any
so
questions that you've got,
beautiful,
please let me know. I'll get them in. A lot of people loving this show. Kathy saying the paper is amazing. Sue says she loves the crafts along, always saves them so she can watch them back at a later date. Maybe you've got people that you know that you might want to get into crafting. A great one to share with them. Remember, you can share this feed with them very easily. Share it to your own Facebook page as well. Maureen loves the papers. Beth loves the papers as well. Cindy also loves the papers. Sue loving the edgeables as well. Loads of love for everything in this show. And we haven't yet got to, of course, which we will be moving on to, Debbie assures me, the decoupage elements as well. Very busy on the edgeables and the decoupage elements.
Yep, that will be our next stage, which is those bits. And they are definitely my favourites. I love them. Really lovely. So we've done all these pieces and now we're going to attach our card together. So obviously you may have one piece that's already like this, so you've got your double piece, but I'm just going to attach my sides, and I am going to use tacky glue because it's on the edge and it's going to be folded open and shut. So I want to make sure that I'm getting the best attachment as possible. And I'm putting my tacky glue on, but then what I'm going to do is just run my finger down the edge just to make sure that's not going to splurge out. Make sure that's not on the edge. I'll just wipe that onto a piece of scrap card and then just roll it. That will all come off. And then we're going to attach that to the side. And there we go. And then you could always then cut out another piece of paper for your back, so that will attach to the back. And I'm just going to fold that over to make sure that's nice and secure. So that's our first piece. And just make sure if you're doing two separate pieces like this, which is probably easier than putting it all through your die cutting machine, make sure that they're folding the right way. And I mean that as in this tab will fit securely onto that next piece. So you've got that opening as it should work. And then
it's such an effective design, this, isn't it? And great that you can break it down and do it in sections, Debbie, so it doesn't feel too complicated.
Absolutely, yeah. Because some things people just think looks far too complicated and they don't attempt them, Joe. But actually, in reality, they're not that difficult. It's just that they need breaking down. And it's what these craft shows are all about, the craft along, for someone to do it with you and create that identical card. And actually, do you know what I loved last week more than anything else, Joe? I had so many people send me the card that I did last week, but everyone was using different papers. So it's great that you can use them. And the same with this one. I'm sure lots of people that are crafting along can do this same card, but they'll probably have different card stops that they're doing it in. I mean, already we can see that looks just stunning. You're having that beautiful, really large card, which is so gorgeous. But even if it was just this front card, it would look beautiful. But if it was just the back cards, it would look beautiful. So you could use whichever one you wanted, but having them all together makes it just really special and something really spectacular.
Could you just show us the flaps again, Debbie? Shannon H says, what side do the tabs go on? Can you just point them out?
What side?
Yeah, so
yes.
maybe...
So it's a normal, if you think of a normal front opening card, your tabs would then go on the end of that one to fit round.
So it's just one join, is it?
I've got two.
You've got two?
This one's got one join,
okay,
because I did this one as a double one. This is just a double card. But because it wouldn't go through my machine, I've done these two bits separately. So what you would need, shall we measure them, Joe, so everyone knows exactly what piece of card they need? So you would need a 5 7/8 of an inch by, let's say, 11 1/4 inch. That's your first, forget that. You would need, let's take that up because you want an extra tab on this as well. So I would say take it up to 6 1/2 inches. So 6 1/2 and then score in at 1/2 inch. Half an inch, and then 11 3/4. And then the next piece we would just say needs to be 6 inches by 8 1/2 inches. Okay.
Brilliant. Okie doke. So I hope that helps. Shannon, any more questions? Get them in. Oh, Debbie, I absolutely love it, says Mary Pat. We'll give you a brief second then just to catch up should you need it. Whilst we do that, let me take you back through both awesome deals that we've got on the show for you today. The edgeables, of course. As Debbie said, though, pretty much any of our edgeables will work with this technique.
Yep.
But the ones that we've got on are a fantastic deal for you. So what you've got in here, you've got the Venetian scrolls, which is awesome. Gives you this beautiful, gorgeous lacy effect. You've then also got the butterfly lace Schmetterling. What is it called? Schmetterling Spitzer. That's how you say butterfly lace. And we've got the Edwardian rose. Don't know what happened there. I don't know where that was. That came from. Not sure, Johnny. So do make sure you grab those. Then what we're going to have is the floral decoupage for you. So 3 different lovely floral techniques that you can do with these. Let me show you this one actually. So you've got a gorgeous rose, which is this one here. Love that. We've also then got this one, which is the floral spray, I believe that one there, which is beautiful. And then the other one you've got is the peony bouquet. Let me just find you peony bloom, which is this one just here, which I think is just stunning as well. Really, really lovely. Now, let me talk to you about how these work. So it's really simple, right? What you get is, let's go with the rose. You get the pad, and in the pad, you've got 48 pages there within that, as you can see. So you've got those gorgeous pages there, all set out and ready to go for you. And then what you do basically is you're going to then use the dies which are included in here. You lay these over, it cuts you all of those elements out, and you layer that up with either some foam pads or some 3D glue gel, and you are good to go. Once this has run out, the pad, once you've used those 48 pages, if you want to get extras of the pads on their own, you can. They are available right now in the show for you. Once they run out, you can either, you've got a couple of options. You can either download this imagery from our website. It is there ready to be downloaded right now, totally free of charge in the download section. But when that does happen, what you then have is you have these stamps. Now with the stamps, you can stamp that out, colour that imagery in, and then lay the dies over the top to then cut that out as well. So it's there's several ways of using it. Then think about actually using the stamps on their own too. So you can see what would be lovely, maybe some stamped backgrounds, and then with the actual floral decoupage element on top of it. What a lovely way to use it. £42 if you're in the UK, which becomes $33.60 as a platinum member. If you're in the US, $67 goes down to $53.60, which is absolutely brilliant value for money. So do make sure you grab that. Remember, you've got the spend it, save it, craft it. So that means that if you are spending £25 or dollars, you'll save 5. Spend 50, you'll save 10. Spend 75, you'll save 25. So make sure you definitely take advantage of that as well. Other things that are on this show that I think you might love, we've got the decoupage adhesive collection. Go check that out on the website. The Scoremaster's there. There's also a great opaque pigment ink pad collection as well, a 13-piece one. You know how hard it's been for us to keep those in stock at the moment. So go and check all of that out over on our website, crafterscompanion.co.uk.eu. Click that shop the show button and you'll see absolutely everything that is in this show. Stephanie says the card looks just amazing. Maureen saying such a lovely card. I think I'm going to base my Mother's Day card on this. What a great idea. Mother's Day here in the UK is a week tomorrow.
Yeah, next Sunday.
But in the US it's different, isn't it? It's a different, it's later in the year, much later. Do let me know in the comments. But Father's Day is the same day, incidentally. There you are. I know, every day's a school day. Right, Debbie, no one's told me they are falling behind, so I think we're ready for that next step if you are.
Brilliant, yes. So I'm using my pan. Now you're going to need 3 sheets of this, so we're going to be die cutting these. I've got 2 out, so my 3rd sheet. You can see I've pretty much, I think I've used more than half of my pad, but I've still got loads more sheets in there. And you can see how much there by looking at it I've used quite a bit, which I absolutely love this one. I think you're right, it would absolutely make the most amazing Mother's Day card. So we're going to be using our low tack tape and I'm going to be taping these on. So we all need to be just looking for our numbers and the shape of our dies so you'll be able to see. But what I really like about this is just knowing that where you put them, you're getting that precision cutting every single time without having to worry. So I do like to, I'm just going to check on this one at the bottom. So there we go. I do like to sort of tape 2 together at a time and it just keeps them quite secure so they don't move. We're then going to place another one down, so our number 2, which goes directly over the top, and your little notch where the number is will be placed directly over that top of the circle, and then we're going to place our extra bits in there. So just going round and finding that number. The leaves are great because they're all in one, and then we've got that number 5 to put our last one on. So nice and simple. There's no trickery with these. It is exactly, it's like playing by numbers and just getting them all into position. So I'm trying to be clever here and do all 3 at once, but probably not a good way to do. There we go, putting that over. So we can then, I don't think I'm going to get all 3 of those on, so what I will do is just place this 2 together and then place another one on my 4th. And there we go. And then we'll run that through. So I can use my, I want to say my junior plates, but I haven't got them to hand. There's some down here. Let's just find these. There we go, just putting all these are really bad, these plates. I think we definitely need some new plates in the studio, Joe. So, I've got to, that's, look, it's a good job I didn't put that through. That's a MIDI folder.
Oh, don't put that through.
We don't want the MIDI folder. There we go. Popping that on and those on. So we're just going to be die cutting all these now, Joe, and running these all through. So I'll show the first ones and then I'll get cutting with the rest and you can follow those and Joe, you can do all your parts.
Awesome. So still very busy. Sorry, I was just moisturising my hands there, Debbie. Very dry hands at the moment.
Dry hands?
Yeah, very dry hands.
You've got dry hands?
Yeah, I've just got myself a little bit of moisturiser from the green room. Oh, it's a lovely lavender flavoured L'Occitane one. I don't know why I share these things. Lots of you are still chatting away, which is brilliant. Sonia saying, I love the size of this card. And the colour palette is amazing. So as us country folks say, Debbie, this one is winner, winner, chicken dinner. Love that.
I love that.
Beth says as well, I love the decoupage. Such a simple idea, yet the results are beautiful. They really, really are. Let me know if there's anything you need recapping in that section. So everyone at home just cutting out those multiples of that as well. So do let me know that you are getting on okay. Crafting with Quilling Lady. I don't think that's her Christian name for some reason, but she says this rose decoupage with the 3D glue gel is stunning. I made quite a few and I absolutely love them. Anyone can do the 3D decoupage as well. If you maybe know some people that are wanting to get into craft, I've actually had to go with a 3D decoupage and had a lovely time doing it. So absolutely do give that a go. Very busy. Remember as well, if you're just tuning in and thinking, oh, I really wish I'd have got this stuff ahead of time and what a shame now I won't be able to take part in this craft along, you absolutely can, because you can watch this back at any time you want in essence. So what you can do is you can grab this stuff right now in this show, share this maybe Facebook live feed at the moment, so it'll go to your wall so you know where it is, bookmark it, save it, do whatever you need to do, or just make a note at the time and come back and have a look on our website at any point, and you'll then be able to watch this back, which is great. But we've got great offers available for you on both of the craft along items as well, which is fantastic. Make sure you get any questions that you've got in as well as we go along. I am here as your servant, ready to get anything you need to know asked over to the lovely Debbie. Remember as well, there's that awesome Tiffany Takeover show happening tomorrow here on Crafters TV, which will be brilliant. No, tonight, Joe, not tomorrow. My head was thinking about the cake in the show tomorrow, you see, because I was going to tell you, tomorrow, of course, we are relaunching Softer Side in its brand new home, which is a 1-hour show from midday here in the UK, or 7 a.m. on Eastern Time, through to 1 p.m. And then for the last 30 minutes, we're going to have a new section called Save a Stitch, which is where you're going to find all of the most amazing soft craft bargains of the week, jam-packed into there as well. And Bernie's sisters made an incredible cake to kick off our new show, so make sure you come and join me for that. And then I'll be with Jan for the rest of the afternoon. We've got a craft class, which is all things stenciling, which I know Jan is really passionate about, so she'll love that. And then we've also got Second Chance Sunday as well, which is always loads of fun. A great chance to see so many of the most popular items from the last couple of weeks as well. Gloria is asking, I love the card. How would you make the envelope, Debbie? You did briefly cover that at the start, didn't you? Mm-hmm.
Yes, because last week, and I know a lot of you do love to be able to send them to people and put them in envelopes, and it was too big a size to put in there. Unfortunately, this was the same, so you would be able to fit it into an A4 envelope that you could just buy, but actually what we're going to do at the end of the show, and it won't take too long, so I'm hoping we'll get time to show it, even if we don't get time to decorate it, we're going to show a nice box, because I thought this sort of card warranted a beautiful box to put it into. So we're going to be making a box exactly the size to fit the card.
Absolutely beautiful, yes, so make sure you stay tuned so you can see how Debbie puts the box together as well. Rosalind saying, I really love these little pads with the tabs to help you cut them out. They really are fantastic, aren't they, Rosalind? So yeah, a lot of love for that, a lot of love for the craft along too. A lot of people, I think people must be frantically die cutting away, Debbie, because there's not really much going on in the chat, I'm afraid.
I love that everyone's doing it, and that's good. We don't expect you to do anything else but to craft along with us. So what I am doing, I've cut now all my 3. My last one's just gone through, but I'm actually going to leave it in there because I want to use that when we've finished. So I want to create our decoupage first. Now I'm going to be using foam pads, but you can obviously use 3D all-purpose, I always call it all-purpose glue, it's not all-purpose glue, 3D Collal glue gel. That's it, yeah. Got there eventually. And all I'm doing is I'm moving these bits with my fingers and just sort of manipulating them into place a little bit more. Well, not into place because they're already in place, but we're just curving them to give them a little bit of structure. And then I'm going to be bringing in some foam pads. So first of all, we're going to do, you always go from biggest to smallest. So if I put these all in place, you can see all of these ones, and then we've got our little leaves. So I'm just turning them upside down, and then we can place our foam pads. Oh, these are quite little ones, but that's fine. You only need a couple of them. It's not like you need many, and we can then start layering them up. And all you do with these is follow the lines of your flowers, so they will just fit into place perfectly. But because we've given those curvature, you will actually have just a more beautiful flower. Now, when you use Kalau all-purpose glue gel, it's not all-purpose. When you use the glue gel, I don't suppose it matters calling it all-purpose, but it's not really all-purpose, is it, Joe?
No, there is a great deal though on the screen there where you get both the glue gel and the all-purpose, and you get a tape pen as well.
Oh, that's
As you can
amazing.
see there, and you save 20%, which is fabulous for our glue. So do make sure you grab that.
So yeah, if you use that, it's really great for getting even more height, or if you've got too much height and you want it to be squashed down a little bit more, you can push down into that and you will actually have different definitions on them. But we're just using the foam pads. And actually, if you haven't even got foam pads or you haven't got the Kalau glue gel, you could just stick them onto each other. It still creates that illusion of different heights, which is really nice. And then we've got our little leaves that just go on the edges. Popping them on. So our foam pads are really good, Joe, because the backs of them come off really easy.
Awesome. Why, some of them are a little tricky.
Yeah, some of them can be very tricky. And if you haven't got a bit of nail, because obviously I'm taking them off with my nails, I'm just going to find a pokey tool. You can just pick them off with a pokey tool, so they will just sort of come off on the top. So just in case you haven't got any. And then we're just going to attach these to our leaves. Again, just giving those a little bit of curvature. Got one stuck on me. On there. It's weird, isn't it, when it's more quieter on a craft along. Everyone's just concentrating on what they're doing. So you can see straight away we've got that beautiful effect which gives us all those different layers. And then I'm just going to be doing our other ones, Joe.
Awesome. The ink pads are really busy, Debbie. Whilst you're doing that then, do you want us to stay with you, Debbie?
All I'm doing, Joe, I'm not going to do anything different until I've got all my foam pads on.
Okay, you let me know if you're okay in the comments.
Absolutely.
Then. If you're following in the comments, you let me know. If you're not following, of course, it's more important to let me know. And then I will get Debbie to show you again. But whilst you do that, and Debbie does that also, let me just show you the deal on the pigment ink pads that we've got. Now, I'm just thinking, Johnny, so you get, this is going to be like the best ever price, because we always do the 13 piece at this price, right? Club Inspire Platinum members get this for £40 or dollars, and then you get an extra $5 off because you're doing the spend it, save it. So you get them for £35 today as a Club Inspire Platinum member.
Wow.
How incredible is that? If you were a silver member, you'd get what, 10% off, so you'd get £5 off, and then you'd get another £5 off, so you get them for £40 today as a silver member. Incredible value, however you look at it. Great colours in here as well. Straw Bale, Crushed Velvet, Fry Brown, Fuchsia, Grasshopper, Honey Pot Lagoon, Lemon Tonic, Orange, Parakeet, Plum Jam, Pink Tulip, and the Twilight Grey as well. So a really, really good varied colour combination in there. Remember as well, we've really struggled to keep ink pads in stock at the moment due to numerous delays, which have caused import delays into the UK at the moment, and I know into the US as well. The pandemic, Brexit, all these different things. It is having a big, big impact on how we can keep things in stock and restock. So it's great that we've got that 13-piece collection in right now. What I would say is if it's not opaque pigment ink pads that you're after, but there are some gaps maybe in your collection of any of our other ink pads, this is a great time to get yourself over to the website and have a look at everything that is in stock, because we did just recently do a very, very big restock across all of our ink pads, varying colours in all of the different types. So do go and have a look over on the website at them. Rose says, so fun and relaxing. Thank you, Debbie, for showing these. Debbie says, I love the craft alongs. More, please. Oh, I think your wish is our command, Debbie. Karen saying as well, decoupage pads make a really quick card that looks like you spent all day making it, which is very, very true. Rosalind says, I love the paper pads and the tabs. Donna also saying, love using the decoupage. So simple and such a nice touch to add to your projects. Absolutely, it is. Right, Debbie, I believe you're looking at me very poised and ready to go.
I am absolutely ready to go. I love all your comments, so please, yeah, keep them coming in. It's really nice to hear, and it's really relaxing, isn't it, Joe? It's one of those times we can actually take a breath. We've got time to do everything. We're crafting in real time, which is amazing. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring in our friend stamp or whatever sentiment you've got. Now, the reason I love these is because you have your main really fancy font die, and then you have the stamps to go with it. So what we are going to do, we're going to cut this out, and I'm going to be using, so I'm just trying to find which back of the paper we used. Here it was. So the back of your sort of chevron paper, you've got this really lovely grey. So I'm going to be cutting one of these out of this, and then we want to cut it again out of white paper. So you can just use your scrap pieces. You've probably got some, wondering if these, no, they're not going to fit. Oh, this one will be. You'll probably have a scrap piece that you can use and cut into, so that will fit onto there. So I'm going to cut this out in white and then again into that grey. So again,
will you cut both pieces at the same time, or you cut them separately, Debbie?
Actually, you probably could, because this isn't very thick. This is more paper than card. So I think, Joe, we could probably cut them together. So I'm just going to pop them on top of each other, and then we'll send them through.
Brilliant.
Right, so I've also got, so you'll see I've only done 2 of my flowers. You don't want to be decoupaging this third one up. If you have decoupaged this one up, you need to cut another one and keep these separate. So I'm just going to pop them to one side. The reason I didn't take them off my platform was because I didn't want to forget and decoupage them up, because we only need 2 of them. So I'm going to place that onto there, making sure it goes through both. If you are using both for cardstock, if you use different papers, you might have to just do them separately. But one of them is for the inside and one of them is for the front. So the front one, obviously we're going to put that on just to make it look pretty. And in the back section, we're going to actually make it as if it's an inside sentiment, because you've got the stamps that go with this as well. So I'm just easing these out, because these are really delicate, but they've cut through no problem whatsoever. So just give them a wiggle, give that a wiggle, there we go, and then we'll just poke those extra bits out into there. There we go.
It's great that it's cut through both of those, Debbie.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? I honestly, Joe, I don't even know what I did before the Gemini, because it's such an amazing machine. And the fact now that we've got an even bigger one that's just as powerful, it's quite incredible. We're very lucky, aren't we, I think, here to have a machine such as the Gemini. So we've got our 2. Now, what next we're going to do? We're going to bring in another piece of card. Do I have enough? I've got a half. You've probably got a fold like this that come off your first piece of card that we cut. So this is the excess. I'm going to cut this card, and what we need it to be, I'm just going to cut this end piece off first. What we need this to be is 4.5 inches by 4 3/4 inches. So I'm going to trim this, bring in our guillotine. I'm going to cut now to 4 3/4. We'll do our longest bit first. Again, making sure it's lined all the way down. Cut down there and then turn it round, and then we want 4 1/2. There we go. So that gives us our piece of card that we need. Now next we're going to bring in our stamping platform. So the stamping platform is going to allow us to position our dies. This piece here we're going to leave with one of our roses to the side. That's going to decorate our front. Then we're going to bring this one in, because what I want to do is I want to do some stamping, but I also want to have this in place. So I'm going to position everything first. Oh, I've got a new board. Look at this. Jake must have just realised.
Oh, you haven't covered it in stick and spray yet?
No, I've got magnets now. I said to Jake, oh, we really need a new one in here, because, and it's appeared. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 of our stamps. So you've got all sorts of stamps in here. I can't read them because I haven't got my glasses, but I do know
potluck sentiment in this one, is it?
When they're stamped out, it's in here, they're a bit hard to read, that's why. But I have got a truly great, and then we're going to have friends. So we've got a truly great friend. I've got to make sure I put that right way up, Joe. And then we've got is hard to find.
Awesome.
And we're going to stamp this on the bottom piece here. But what I want to do is I want to line them up. So I'm going to move this to where I want it. So we want this in the midsection. I don't want, it wouldn't get in the way, but I don't want it to interrupt with any of my sentiments. So that's why I just want to lay it in first and then position my stamps where I think they need to be. That's it. So I think that's pretty good. And then I'm just going to pop this over the top, and then as you look you'll be able to see if you've got those straight. So that one is needs to come down very slightly. And then we're just going to pick those up. So they are in the perfect place now to stamp down. So I can move that out the way, Joe. And then I'm just going to bring in a black ink. Well, I'm using my Flagstone. It doesn't matter what one you use because we're not putting any colour in over the top. So whether it's your waterproof or your alcohol proof, any one is fine. And I'm just going to really lightly go down. Oh, I've put them upside down, Joe.
What you like.
But actually, you know what?
Will it work?
Yeah, I'm going to turn it round and see. It'll just be slightly different opposite sides. They're really hard to see. Let's do it that way and see if we can make it work. Unless I put my glasses on, Johnny's just pointed out, which is very true. Let's turn that round. So it's not really...
There you go, you wouldn't know.
Well, you've got to... Yeah, actually it works. It works. We can do that, Joe. Actually works, yep. So that's absolutely fine. So we've got then our die cut and that. But how gorgeous does that look?
Really
I
lovely.
mean, really professional, doesn't it? It looks like that's the sort of sentiment that you would buy at a shop. It looks incredible. So then what we're going to do is stick this together. And I'm just going to use, in fact, yeah, I'm going to use my tacky glue. I would normally use a little, my Gloria glue pot, but she's in my craft bag. So I am just going to put little dabs on. The reason I'm not using the dotty tape runner is because sometimes it pulls when you've got a really small sentiment.
Okay.
So I'm just putting little dots on all the way around to just know that that will secure into place. And tacky glue dries clear as well, which is nice. It doesn't matter if you get a little bit coming out. But what I do normally do, once you've put some on, you could then just sort of dab this over and it will just spread it a little bit. There we go. And then don't push it down too hard when you've put wet glue on because it would just splodge out and make a real mess. And actually, all you need to do is just tap it into place, making sure you've got that in a straight line, and then leave that to sort of dry off a little bit. So don't push it down too hard. You just need that to just be in the place, and that will dry relatively quickly. And dab in those areas, getting rid of any little tacky bits of glue. And that's it, that will all hold into place.
Amazing.
Yeah. Now I'm not worried that that's got a bigger piece up the top because next, this is what we're going to do with this one, Joe. We're going to stick this onto the inside of our card. So bringing back in our card. We're then going to attach this to the inside, so we're going to put it, now I would say, because if I put it upwards, it would show that white panel. So when you're putting it in, just make sure you bring it down so you can't see that panel, because we're going to decorate this part. So I would put it about here, so bringing in my glue again. And then we're just going to pop that down. So I'm going to do it a little bit high because we are going to hide that bit just so we can show that off. So that's our panel. And then what we're going to do before we attach all our bits here, I'm going to start arranging these extra bits that we've done. So you can bring back in your extra bits and take these off. But instead of decoupaging these up, Joe, I'm just going to use them as the flowers. And they really are so effective.
Okay.
And we're going to layer these.
So just
up
as flat
well.
toppers then, in essence?
Yeah, just flat toppers, absolutely. Johnny didn't believe when I showed him the card earlier that they come from the same one. So first of all, we're going to use our long one across the bottom. So we're going to bring this one in just across here. and then we're going to bring in one of our flowers. But what I would say is position them where you want them. So I'm going to sort of have my smaller one, and we're going to alternate them. So I've got then a double one here, bringing them across, and you can see how beautiful that is layering up already. So that's actually all we need, just the 4 across the top there. And then we can use these ones down the bottom to fill the gap here. But look how gorgeous that is looking. So obviously that would have been a little bit higher up. So actually what I'm going to do, Joe, I'm going to do it the opposite way. As we've gone the opposite way, I'm going to do it so our large flowers on the top, and then our other ones are at the bottom. So
awesome.
Bring in, let's do, oh, that one's going to go up the top, that one's going to go here. That's better, I'm happier with that. So let me just go across and bring these ones in. There we go. Let's do them, arrange them in the bottom. That one in the top, and this one is going to go underneath this time. And then we're just going to stick those into place. If you've got any bit hanging off there, we can just, so I'm just going to snip that bit there, and then we're just going to stick those into place. So it's just a case of you arranging these dies, and you get so much more from them when you do this as well, Joe, because obviously you've
really
got a whole
that was that
page.
one page there then?
Just one page.
That's fantastic, I love
It's
that.
amazing, isn't it? Yeah. And it's a really great way to decorate around your words and on the insides of your card. And you have so many that you can use. So don't worry about, you know, not using them, because you've got so many, and you can then print them off afterwards.
Of course, great way to use them. Hadessa's saying, I love my sampling platform, it saves me so much time. Kepi says, geometric patterns, I am in love. Carol is doing friend in grey, looks very smart, loving Debbie's tip there. Eleanor is enjoying the show, she loves decoupage. They are fun to do, and I love how easy Sarah has made it for us. They are very, very simple. Crafting with Quilling Lady as well says, you've just convinced me to get the ink pads. With my platinum discount, the price is amazing.
Yeah.
It really is £35 as a platinum member to get your hands on 13 of the pigment ink pads. Very, very busy on those as we come towards the last quarter of this show. It's been another awesome craft along so far, Debbie, this one.
Oh, thank you, Joan. I'm going to bring this card in. You'll see exactly what I meant. So when I bring this in, you can see I've put the larger flower at the bottom and then the flowers at the top. But actually it works either way you're doing it. I mean, they both look so beautiful. And you can also see that I've put slightly different papers. So I've just done the different way just to give a little bit of a variation. So once you've done that, that's that side done. And then the rest is really simple, Joe. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our friend on the front. So we decorate that front. I'm just going to see if the dotted tape pen will affix itself, and I think it will, but I just didn't want to pull it. This one, the other one was paper, where this one is actually card because it's the Centura, so that is working much better. And then we're just going to pop that onto the front of our card. So sticking on your friend, I'm just making sure that goes straight onto the front. There we go. So rubbing that down, because I know once you rub it, it's heat activated, which makes it even stickier underneath. And then we can use this one to decorate up the front of our card, and we're going to use the other one inside. So I think I'm going to bring in my foam tabs again, and I'm going to pop those on and onto the bottom. Take those pieces off. And then we should.
How many sheets total have you used from the pad here then, Debbie?
Just 3.
3, that's awesome.
3 sheets, yeah, which isn't bad at all, is it? And there is leftover. So we're going to pop that around the front there. And then we're not going to do nothing here, but you can decorate that inside. But we're going to take this one and do the same on the 3rd page. So popping these into place. Taking those off. And you can use the 3D glue gel, you can use your foam tapes, you can use your tacky glue, anything to pop them in. And then on this one, we're going to pop that in a different angle, just across. And then that's our card finished, Joe. So if I turn that round, you'll be able to see then you've got those 3 tiers, and I'm going to bring in my other finished one, and they were just done in alternating the colours on the front. So you've got 2 slightly different ones there, but really beautiful. And then what we'll do is go to our box, which is in a little while, and you'll be able to fit those directly in. But they look amazing, don't they, Joe?
Awesome. Well, you know what you've got to do now, don't you? If you have managed to keep up with the lovely Debbie, now is the time to get your pictures sent in to us. Let me show you how you can do that. All you need to do is send them to studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. Details there along the bottom of your screen. Send them in. I'd love to see how you've got on, how you've interpreted that, because no doubt people will have used maybe slightly different dyes, Debbie, or slightly different papers, or different decoupage or embellishing items. I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with. Let me also share with you some of the other pictures you guys have been sending in to us as well. Monica sent this in. Loving the colourways here, Debbie.
Oh yes, beautiful. Do you know what she's used there? So Monica's used the stamp, Joe, and coloured it in. How beautiful does that look?
Absolutely awesome. Monica is crafting with quilling lady, I'm being told. So there you go. So she sent those in. Oh, she's done loads. Really gorgeous pops of colour. Look at that with that love heart there as well. Beautiful. Really, really gorgeous. Angela says, so very beautiful. My card is smaller, simpler and smaller. Thank you for teaching us how to use the edgeable dies. Angela, I'd love to see a picture of it. And I guess the great thing is with that, Debbie, I mean, you could even add more layers or more panels to that if you wanted to, I guess, you know, do 2 or 3, maybe even, you know, have a play around and go up with 5 or more if you wanted to.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And as long as you've got enough paper or card to create a big enough box to put it in, yeah, absolutely. You could go for your life. Do you know what I was just thinking, Joe? You could do like a double one, so you have one coming out sort of one way and the other coming out the other way, and have a double whammy there, wouldn't you?
A double whammy, quadruple stack stepper, or whatever we'd call it. I'm not quite sure. We'll work it out, whatever it is that we are going to call it. It has been, let me just take you back through the floral decoupage. It's really, really busy. Let me remind you what you're getting. So in the 3 different styles in here, you're going to get the dies, you're also going to get the stamps, and you're going to get the pad in there as well. So you can see, this one is the gorgeous rose. Then you've got the floral spray, which is that one there. And you're also going to get in there as well the peony bouquet, which is this one just here, which is fantastic. Remember what you're getting in each different style. You're getting the pad, you're also going to get the dies, and you're going to get the stamps as well for each one of them. It gives you the amount of option. Use the dies to cut the pad, or stamp it out and then use the dies to cut your stamped and coloured image. Do bear in mind as well, and remember that all of the imagery is available for you to download on the website. So once you've used your pad, absolutely go there and grab it. If you want to though, you can add extra pads into your basket when you go for the main collection. £42 or $67 as a platinum member becomes $33.60 or $53.60, which is awesome. Cheryl says, stunning card, Debbie, can't wait to watch this back and craft along. I have all the supplies in storage and I'll definitely be saving this live. Very excited. When you do, you can always share pictures with us later down the line as well. You know, no matter what show we're in, you could always send us the pictures of the craft along whenever you get around to it. We love seeing them. I want to remind you of those ink pads again, because they are exceptionally busy here. I think a lot of you are realising that this weekend is going to be your best chance to get hold of these, not only because they're in stock, but because of that extra discount as well. So in here you're getting straw bale, crushed velvet, fry brown, fuchsia, grasshopper, honey pot, lagoon, lemon tonic, orange parakeet, the plum jam, the pink tulip and the twilight grey. A great array of colours. I think these are probably the most versatile ink pads that we bring to you as well, because of the ability to heat emboss. They give you really lovely coverage. You can blend with them as well. They are £50 or $70. As a platinum member, you get them today for £40 or $54. So as a platinum member in the US, you get them for what, $44 today. I mean, it is an absolutely incredible deal, because remember what you also have is the Buy It, Save It, Craft It event that is running all the way up until the end of tomorrow. That means if you're spending £25 or dollars, you'll save 5. Spend 50, you'll save 10. Spend 75, you'll save 15, which is absolutely awesome. So do make sure you take advantage of that. Right, about 15 minutes left then, Debbie. Do you think we've got time to get the box done?
Absolutely, perfect timing to get the finishing accompaniment to our card, which is beautiful. So we need 2 pieces of Centura Pearl A3 size. You then want want to trim them down. So we're going to trim them down to 12.5 by 9.5. So I'm going to go in obviously with my smallest side first to pop that through. I'm then going to go to my 12.5-inch mark. I'm making sure that my guillotine is straight. I'm putting both pieces of card through at the same time because I know the guillotine, our guillotine will cut them. You may have a different guillotine. If you do, maybe just one sheet at a time. I'm making sure I'm getting both of those precisely at that 12.5 point. And then what we're going to do is hold that firmly and slice that down. So that then gives me the ability to turn around and fit this through the guillotine and take that to 9.5 inches. So just putting it to the 9.5-inch mark, making sure we've got all that in, making sure my sides are all straight because I've got 2 pieces of card, and then we're going to cut that piece off. Now, how did I work out that box? So whatever size card you are doing, you might still want to make a box if you've only done half of the card. So what I have done is you get your card, so I'm just going to pull this over. When you place it here onto your card, you want to know how much room you've got around it and how much to do. So I knew that this card would fit in between my envelope and I could score that 1 inch round on each side. So whatever you are doing, just make sure. So if we're doing just that half card, I would then trim that down, so that would then be, let me just give an estimate on there, you would then have 9.25 inch by your 9.5 inch, and then you could do your 1 inch all the way round. The next thing you do need is your scoreboard, so we're going to bring our scoreboard into play and our scoring tool. Now, on the first piece, what we're going to do is score by butting our piece of card to the left-hand side of our card. We're then just going to score round at 1 inch all the way round. We don't need any more depth than that because I know if we look at our card, there is not more than a 1 inch depth in that card, so that will fit in a box perfectly. If you've done more, or you've layered extras on, or you've put more silicone glue behind, or your glue gel, it might be thicker, so just be aware of the card that you're putting in. So going round on each side. And I always like to score twice. I think it just helps to stretch those fibres in the card to give you that really nice crisp edge. And going around each side, and then I'm going to put that to the side, and this time we're going to bring in our next piece of card identical to that piece, but we're going to butt this up to the right hand side. So when you butt that up to the right hand side, you can see we're then going to go from the bottom line, because this is our box base, and I'm going to score up that centre point. And we're going to do that on each side of our card. So again to the 1 inch. And this will make it just slightly smaller to be able to fit the box lid over the top. And it's the same, exactly the same size, but we're still going in at 1 inch. We're just scoring it on the opposite side of our box. And that's it. That's how you get your box. So then we're going to assemble this. So we're going to fold all our score lines in and burnish on each side. Fold and burnish. And I always like to give it a wiggle, so I don't like to split the card at all. It's always easier because, especially Centura, because it is quite a stiff card and it's got a coating on top as well. Then you're going to take your scissors and we're going to start snipping into the corners. So I always like to snip up, snip the corner off, and then take it in a little bit. So we're going to snip up, snip off, and take the corner in. And this just helps to not only make your box look really neat, but it also gives you that little bit of wiggle room to be able to level off your edges. Because what you want with a box, when you're making your box, is for all the sides to fit perfectly.
Oh,
I've got a bit of a tickle. I've got some mortar, Joe, so I am just going to quickly have a squeak.
You have a little swig. I was just about to say to everyone at home, if you've loved this Craft Along, then maybe you'll love Craft Class as well, which is another new show format that we bring to you here at Crafters TV. There's one coming up tomorrow, myself and Jan, actually. It's at 3 p.m. in the UK, which is 10 a.m. on the East Coast, and it will feature stencils, some tools, and we're also going to have a look at floral animals as well. So it's a real back to basics show, perfect for any beginners out there, but also there'll definitely be hints, tips and tricks that more experienced crafters will enjoy using as well. So I'm going to join myself and Jan for that tomorrow. I know Jan will love doing those kind of shows because she's very teacher-esque, isn't she? She used to be a teacher, Jan. Did you know that, Debbie?
Yeah, I did, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. She loves it. I know Jan is a huge fan of Masterclass. Sorry, not Masterclass, Craft Alongs. She actually did a Craft Along with the Knitwits collection, the dogs and cats
with Ben.
in the week with Ben. Yeah, it was really good. So, and she was so clever. So you can go back and watch that back. So all I've been doing, Joe, is just put some the tape pen onto my sides, and then just rubbing that together to create our box base. And I'm going to do exactly the same with the top of our box. Well, I've really got a tickle.
Oh, you got a real tickly one there, haven't you?
I know, yes, I can feel it tickling away.
It was like me yesterday afternoon. I had a piece of cheese yesterday afternoon. I don't know what happened, Debbie. Oh, I was off for about 20 minutes. Maybe you need a piece of cheese. Maybe that's what will cure it, Debbie. No, I don't think so, but why not give it a go? You know, what you got to lose? At the end of the day, all you're going to do is eat a delicious piece of cheese. If it works, it works. If it don't, you'll have a delicious piece of cheese.
I have heard that chocolate is good.
Sorry? Chocolate?
I heard chocolate is good for a cough, yeah. So
I mean, chocolate's good for everything, isn't it?
Apparently, there is something in chocolate that they have in cough medicines.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what ingredients it is.
Lots of sugar, probably.
Lots of sugar, probably, yeah, absolutely.
So you're cutting on the score line, Debbie, or inside the score line?
Oh, sorry. I'm cutting directly onto the score line.
Okie doke.
But you can cut at the side of it. It really doesn't make a great deal of difference, Joe, because whatever you do, it makes the perfect box. What it means is that when it folds over, I'm not worried about these meeting up. You want to make sure that these top parts meet up.
Awesome.
And if those top parts meet up, your sides will completely meet up. So not a problem at all.
Brilliant. Johnny's just letting me know how busy it is still for that die storage file. That die file is, honestly, I think we're going to break the internet at this rate. Do you think there's going to be any left for the latest show, Johnny? There won't be many left, is what Johnny's saying.
So good, isn't it?
I know, still another 2 hours in the break as well. And also, if you thought the rotating design board was incredible, how about a 12 by 12 rotating design board? You've definitely found that. For those of you who didn't manage to get a turntable for your Gemini Pro as well, I don't think we've launched a turntable yet, have we, for the Pro in the UK? I'm not sure the stock's been in. So in the UK it won't have launched. So if you've got the Gemini Pro in the UK and you don't have a turntable, I can let you know that the Pro fits beautifully on the 12 by 12. So definitely a very cost-effective way of getting hold of a turntable for your 12 by 12. And also, on a Saturday night, Debbie, you can put your takeaway on it like a Lazy Susan. What's not to love?
Absolutely, yeah, it's ideal for everything. So there is your perfect box. And then if we grab our card, we can put our card into it. So it's right here. So pop our card, so fits beautiful in there. So we'll pop that into place. So that's our main box. Have we got time to decorate it, Joe?
You have, you've got 8 minutes.
Oh, well, let's decorate it, no problem at all. So I said earlier, Joe asked me how many pieces of card I'd use. I'd only use 2 for the card, and then I'd got a third piece out to decorate the box with. So because the card is very decorative, I wanted to keep the box really beautiful and plain. And all I'm going to do is, like we did before, we could measure this up, but I am just going to trim it to the size I mark it at. I don't know what I did with my pencil, Joe. When I flung everything off earlier, I think I flung that off as well. And I'm just going to put a little dot on there and on the side. And that will just then give me my markings for trimming it down. So
have you marked it on the back there, or Debbie, on the front?
Sorry?
Have you just marked it on the back there?
On the back,
that's
yes,
the back,
always on the back, yeah. And then we're going to pop that in. But actually, when I look at that, that is 7.5. So it's 7.5, and then this piece, I need to take this out again. It is 10.25.
Awesome.
And there we go. So that gives us our top piece. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create panels around the side. So we've got our top piece, which will fit beautifully over the top there, which is lovely. But then we want to get these panels. Now I know that I scored them at 1 inch. Got all little sticky bits there from my glue tape. So what I'm going to do, this piece here will actually decorate the whole panels around the side. So the first thing I'm going to do is do my strips first. Now, what I think is a good idea is because on here we've got our inch mark, so this one is our inch, and then we've got this metal strip, Joe. So this metal strip I worked out was perfect for like a 1/2 inch really. So I just laid it and made sure that it was coming right down to the bottom so we can see it's laid all upon that strip, and then we can just cut down. And that gives me my perfect side strip. And then I'm going to do that again. Lay it to the on the metal strip, making sure right to the bottom, and then we can trim that down. And that way we get precise strips, the same size, without any measuring whatsoever. So we're going to do one more. Oh no, we need 2 more, don't we? Because I don't think 1 is enough to do both sides. But it does mean that we've decorated the whole box with just 1 sheet of 12 by 12.
That's incredible. It really is.
Really
It
amazing.
shows you just how much you can do with, you know, how far your crafting stash will go. That card deserves some tissue paper, Shannon says.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what I was thinking, yes, to put some tissue paper on there. So I'm just going to bring this in. Again, I'm going to just put a little notch on there, just to make sure we know where that goes. And then on my other strips, we're going to do it to the side. And then I can cut 2 pieces at once. So popping that strip along, cutting it to that edge. There we go.
Top little tip, just to mark with a little Sharpie or something, Tibby. Love that.
Yeah. So bringing that in, cutting 2 pieces at once so we can bring that through, line that up against the edge, just making sure both your panels are straight. There we go. Cut them on, that's our side panels, and then we're going to do the same with these 2, put them together, lay them through, make sure they're straight all the way along, and then we can just cut that one. And that is as easy as it gets to do your panels and overlaying. So we're just going to take our 2 panels, which are here, and our 2 panels for here. I've just knocked it underneath my mat.
Oh dear.
And then we're going to decorate the box, Joe. So just putting our panels over, and just for speed, because I know we are running out of space, so just
Whilst you're
decorating
just decorating
now.
those panels, then do you mind if I just share some of the pictures that we've received,
Oh, I
Debbie?
would love that, Joe.
Brilliant.
Absolutely love that.
Let's take a look at those. PPE Pam coming through. Look, it's got the flower
look
forming
at
on there as
that.
well.
Oh, I love that.
Beautiful.
You've done, yeah, foam flowers and the Knitwits.
Yeah, the Knitwits
butterfly and
papers.
blooms. That is so gorgeous.
Really classy. Love that one.
Yeah, really.
Terry's created
Wow.
this. Love that.
Wow.
Really
oh, I'm
beautiful.
so happy that you've all crafted along. These are beautiful.
Angela's done the craft along from last week that you did, Debbie.
Oh,
which is that
I
one
love
just
that.
there.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, one from last week. Beautiful.
Gorgeous, really, really lovely. Loads of you still chatting away as well. Demo of the week and of the month, says Karen Fisher. I agree, Karen. Is Karen Fisher related to you?
No.
Because it's spelled exactly the same
I promise
as well.
I don't know a Karen Fisher. I
Kelly
love your
saying-
name though, Karen.
Sorry, great name. Karen says, love this craft along. Thanks for making us better crafters. We're learning from the best. I didn't have the decoupage set, but I've used my CC butterfly dies and the So Retro paper pad. Totally worked. Yeah, absolutely. You can interchange it with so many other different things. Karen Chamberlain saying, I like all the teaching shows Crafts Companion is putting on. I've learned a lot today. I'm setting my alarm for tomorrow's craft class. I have several Crafts Companion stencils all ready
love
to
that.
go. And Tonya says, I'm absolutely making this card tomorrow and sending it to my mum. How lovely of you, Tonya.
Yeah, the perfect card for your mother. Yeah, it is a real, it's a very special card, isn't it, Joe? So it's definitely one you want to send out. So special. And hand deliver. It's one of those that you want to hand deliver so you can make that beautiful box to go with it. So I'm just putting on my last panel. And the only thing I did extra to decorate the box, because I thought it needed to just be that real beautiful, simplistic look, I just decorated. So there's my first one, my one that I've just done. And then all I've done, look how nice that friend looks on there. Just really, really beautiful. And then when we open the box up, it fits that beautiful card. And there we go.
Really awesome, love that.
And it's the only one we've done, so it's got to go on the shelf, hasn't it?
Will it fit on the shelf?
Will it fit? It will fit on the shelf because I photographed it on the shelf, so I know. Well, I photographed it on our other shelf, so I know it will fit on the shelf.
It should go up, all being well. Right, thank you, Debbie. Absolutely awesome as ever. A brilliant couple of days we've had together. Debbie will not be with me later, which is a shame. I'll be here with Tiffany a little later tonight, which is why I'm bringing this in. I feel like, have we got another one of these? Because what I really want to see, Debbie, is if you could have one of these this way. This is the die file from the Let It Show, but then have two of them that way on top of it. So you can have access to the one here. Imagine if you had access front and back. You could have one that way, Debbie, one at the back facing that way, and then you could have four of them on the top. Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
A palace of die cutting.
So you get all of your dies in there.
I love it.
It is so busy. I'm a bit worried about the stock of this before we actually get to that Totally Tiffany Craft House takeover a little later. It's on the website now in the US and the UK. I think there's separate stock levels for both websites, and I think that the US one is way out in the lead. UK guys, you might have a little bit later. You might be all right, Debbie, but in the US it is exceptionally busy. Also got that 12 by 12 rotating design board coming out for you as well, which is very, very exciting. Don't forget to check out your baskets. Remember, you can buy any of these products today and watch this craft along back at any time. Huge thank you to Debbie, as always. A pleasure to be crafting with you in the studio. You've got a couple of hours now. I'll see you back here with that Totally Tiffany Craft House takeover, which will be 7 p.m. here in the UK, which is 2 p.m. Eastern time or 11 a.m. West Coast time. I'll see you then. Take care.